what we can see, he's just a blur through the screen.
Yeah,
it's got like film on it, and there you go. Like I'll put my hand behind, so
yeah.
So I don't get his face. The only way I can see his face is looking at my monitor.
Exactly.
Oh, Renata's banned.
Oh, who would have guessed? So, I love Reed.
I didn't hear what he said.
Like always. So the anyway.
Pick
bands, they're here. It took him about 5 seconds to get that. Zin's out, Renata taken away, Clock's played it, looks pretty strong. Renata in general, I think that like the consensus is still like relatively mixed, but in these front-to-back team fights, honestly, yeah, fair enough. In these front-to-back team fights, honestly, the Renata ultimate can be very devastating. Crucially as well, Errol actually gets Cassiopeia removed away, which definitely signals maybe some kind of like LeBlanc, if you're looking at the mid lane matchup directly one-to-one, but also maybe something like the Rakan is what's being eyed up here, because I think that also shuts that down. The Felios ban means that Jinx has to get removed away here by Nativz, but now what we might just end up seeing is something like a Gwen first pick, if Fløng are actually willing to pick that one up straight away. But I don't really feel like Bangstead has played it too much, actually, off the top of my head.
Yeah.
And giving this one over to Lundorf, I mean, with the Gwen pick, it's the reason why Monster have 2 losses. It was on the back of Lundorf with the Gwen pick, going absolutely haywire in the first game of the split, as they're just going to go for the Jhin first pick, and I think that makes sense. Guff performs very, very well on that one. And now what I expect from Nativz is something along the lines of Gwen into jungle, and you probably walk away with the rotation quite happily, and then you look at your AD carry in third, because you know that you're going to be playing into Jhin, unless you really want to hide your matchup. But of course, also the Thresh is still there, so they're going to take that one up quite quickly and quite happily. And again, there's just so many picks still left, so many strong picks left up and available, despite what I would call a relatively standard ban picks.
Yeah. Well, the Fresh coming through. It's been a while since we've had the Fresh. A while back when I was last here, Fresh was like permabanned. It was so strong. But teams are kind of edged away from it a little bit, but it does still do what Fresh has always done. That Lantern is so powerful at bringing people in or taking them out. You got the hook for a bit of light engage. You got the Flay for disengage. Very, very powerful champion still. Going to pick up the Varus here. Curious to see if it's going to be lethality or if it's going to be on hit Varus. I feel like into Jhin you go lethality, but I could be.
I think it depends on the comp. At the end of the day, Ron Bengi, that's a Blitzcrank, and yeah, I've done it once before off the top of my head. This pick here for Fløng. And what I would also suspect is the rotation of, actually, no, they could go for a mid laner. I mean, you could pick up the Victor here if you're confident enough in Shafty's champion pool. And I mean, given how weird Shafty's champion pool is, I don't mind this at all. Even if Nativz go for something a little more dive heavy now, you're always going to be diving into Victor AoE, and that just becomes really risky.
I do actually really like the potential of something like a Jarvan, because you've got Victor, you've got Jhin. 2 very immobile champions. Now, Gale Force is a stupid item, and I agree with you on that.
Yeah.
But does add some mobility to the Jhin, but still, at his core, he's a fairly immobile AD carry. So if you pin him in place, he gets lots of movement speed, but all he's going to do is run in your little rock bowl as fast as possible.
Yeah.
And get absolutely wailed on by the rest of the team. Like, you do obviously have to worry about those Victor AoEs and kind of running into that as a potential, but I still do quite like this pick. Now, the Kayn getting taken away from Shafty. He's talking about the unique champion pool.
Yeah.
Probably see something else weird come out here.
Yeah, no, and I honestly, I think it's maybe the best thing they could have done, just to ensure that they keep the game as close to standard as possible. From that now, maybe you can look to remove away something like the Lee Sin, unless you don't care. I mean, honestly, Lee so far into Nativ's comp, it wouldn't really be the best. Maybe things like the Viego could be an option if you want to take Shafty off that. But Lee is definitely, you know, Shafty's next best comfortable champion. And if they're looking to shift him off of comfort, then that will probably be what I expect Nativz will do. Despite how Fløng's composition looks, it will always be the case of, I think if you're playing into Fløng, knocking them off comfort as much as possible is probably the best way to play into them. As the Gwen finally does get removed away here, and I would expect another one of Lundorf's champions to also be taken off the table, as actually they go for the Hecarim, which I don't mind, to be honest with you. The team fighting potential of Fløng is quite high, with the sort of exception of the Blitzcrank. So taking that Hecarim off the table definitely does trim the team fight options that can come out of the jungle down just a little bit. Now into the Lundorf's champion pool, maybe we just end up seeing the Camille ban. To be totally honest with you, when you've already got the Jarvan, potential dive is kind of nasty. So wouldn't be too surprised to see that one taken off the board. Instead, still kind of along those lines, you can aid the dive with that Gangplank takeaway there, and Lundorf, very, very powerful on the champion. I think definitely by far and away our best Gangplank player as well.
Yes, absolutely. I agree with you on that one.
But you kind of pick your poison. You either give over the Camille, or you have to deal with the Gangplank. And it seems like in this instance, Nativz may end up going for it. But of course, you can still just hide it to R5. Just hovering the opportunity of, hey, we could take it here. We already know, because Lindorf is just very versatile. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, there's going to be the Zoe, a bit of an interesting pick in the mid lane.
Yeah.
But obviously, lots of poke potential. And if this is lethality Varus, there's two. Whenever I see poke, there's two things that come up. It's like, if they get ahead, it's horrible to play into because you're going to get Zoe, you're going to get Varus, you're going to get poked out heavily and you can't do anything. If you fall behind as a poke comp, you can't do anything. You're just going to really feel the pressure. Now, the Ornn getting picked up as the top laner here on the side of Fløng and looking towards that jungle role. You were talking about the potential for it to be the Lee or the Viego. Obviously, Lee being Shafty's more comfortable pick, but the Viego definitely, I think, better for the team as we go later into the game. Those resets and the extended team fighting, very, very effective. And now we're going to see what Nativz look to pick up and put in the top lane versus this Ornn. We saw that Camille hover earlier. That could be a potential here.
I think it just comes in.
Yeah.
You're looking at the Ornn matchup. It's something that's been picked into it for a very long time. And at the end of the day, I think Nativz, they were hovering, they were taunting Lundorf, Vangstead, lock it in.
Yeah.
Blind it on B4 or B5. See what we have in store for you. But instead, they just go for the Ornn. They say, all right, we'll take the Camille anyway. And now the Jarvan, at the very least, has a diving buddy to try and capitalize off of what I'd expect to be lethality Varus. I think, even though you've got the Blitzcrank, and yes, you have the potential of Shafty building a lot of armor through things like the plated steel caps and Death Stance, and of course the Blitzcrank. You have a Zoe by your side, probably just go for poke.
Yeah,
as you want to stay out of range of the Jhin and of the Victor. Sure.
Alrighty, well, the comps are put together. I've kind of highlighted my issue with Nativz comp is, it is a poke comp. And poke comps, can be pretty rough to play if you get later into the game and you haven't got ahead or you're just really far behind. Fløng, I think on their side, ease of execution is going to be the big thing for me here. You press the horn, that misses, you step away. Blitzcrank lands a hook, you kill that person, walk off. Like they have pick potential, they have team fight potential. But then again, on the other side, you do have the Varus, you do have the Camille, so you can kind of force fights on your turn or picks on your turn as well. So I'm curious to get your thought on it, Jamada. I can't make my mind up, that's why.
You can't make your mind up on which comp you like more?
No.
Well, I will say Flung's comp, it's fairly easy to execute.
Yeah.
There are a couple of more barriers to entry to making Nativz comp work. But I think that is something that they definitely do draft with in mind a lot of the time. But I think it's fine for Nativz because, and I still hold true to this, I think Nativz, when they've shown it, they understand League of Legends the best in the league. Even better than Munster, in my opinion. Now, does that necessarily always translate into
wins?
No. But definitely there's been times where I've been very, very impressed with their ability to go, okay, we can no longer front to back against this team. Let's play for flanks, or let's play for fog, or let's play for poke. Or we understand we can just play at our max range because they can never engage on us. They have no engage, things like that. That is one of the core strengths of Nativz. We'll see whether or not they recognize, for example, in this game, that all they have to really play around is the Ornn and the Blitzcrank.
Yeah, and that is it. And also, like I was saying, they have the ability to kind of find picks and fights on their terms as well. Camille can target whoever they want. You got the Varusar. A good bubble as well can set you up for a pretty easy kill. So there are lots of tools for them to work with in that sense. So it's going to be an interesting one to see exactly how this is going to go down. I think, yes, execution definitely on Flung's side.
Yeah.
But Nativz, it's not like this is overly hard. It's definitely harder, but I wouldn't say it's like, oh, wow, that's a really hard comp to play.
And it's definitely not a position that they're not used to, being the team with the slightly harder to execute composition. And at the end of the day, if you look at their lanes, for the most part, they actually got counterpick in just about every single lane. They ended up with a counterpick with. Joppa got to see the Jhin, Riley got to see the Victor, and Lundorf got to see the Ornn. So comfort is on their side. They managed to build a composition that has relatively-ish the same kind of theme, or the execution is likely going to be, hey, poke into Snilly and Lundorf, try and find and execute the targets that have been poked out, and Clocks just plays some kind of middleman between providing setup for the divers or providing safety for the backliners. And Fløng, more or less, front to back. Ornn, curtain call, trying to find hooks with Blitzcrank, waiting for Errol to come online, and Shafty is going to be the early game skirmisher to try and set up with some of the lanes that he has to work with. But again, counterpick firmly in Nativ's favor does mean that they could be in for a bit of an easy time in the lane because they got to look at basically every lane they were playing into.
Alrighty, well, here we are. They did obviously look for that pick of the blitz, but they didn't get it. Oh, that victorious blitz.
Is that Victorious Blitz?
Yes, that is.
I don't think I've seen this skin before.
Yes, because he got the victorious skin and no one plays Blitzcrank really. That was an odd one. What's your favorite victorious skin?
Oh god, I would have to look them up on the spot.
You got Elise, you got Janna, you got Jarvan, you got Sivir, you've got Maokai,
it's that
Morgana,
right?
Lucian.
I think Lucian was the cleanest.
Lucian's pretty nice.
I'm
an Orianna one though. I love Orianna's one.
I quite like Sivir's too, even though there's not too much to the particles because it's a very basic kit. She doesn't really.
It's like season 4, season 5 that one.
Yeah, I quite liked that as Lindorf is just getting the better.
Ah, there we go.
Yeah,
Camille.
Nice
straight back.
Vangstead could have even Lindorf rather could have actually just flashed back on Vangstead when he walked up like that after the trade. Caught him off guard, but yeah, this is why you hold on to that Camille counter pick. See the Ornn come out, and yeah, Vangstead's gonna have to be careful how he throws out those Qs because it just sets up for you to get shotted in the middle of the lane. See how detrimental that can be. Does pick up the Doran shield, so we'll now gain access to a little bit more of that regeneration, but already gone through the pots. So is Lindorf though. The issue is Lindorf is more likely to have a more favorable lane reset. Perhaps after this wave, the cannon's not crashed underneath the tower, so we'll finally do that. But still, the amount of creeps that are here, you imagine Lindorf will be a-okay to reset on this wave.
He is just having an absolutely free as hell lane.
Yeah.
As you expect from the Camille into Ornn. Just getting the Q off. That was so cheeky, actually.
Yeah, it's Tryndamere-esque levels of irritation.
Yes. Oh, you can auto me under tower, and there's no consequence. Yeah. Had that in game 1. Oh,
God. And also, one thing to note, Rombengi blew his flash, and I think it was an attempt to set up Shafty for a gank there.
Yeah.
On our screen a moment ago. So potentially something to track if Snille does end up on the bottom lane. Or maybe it was actually Snille that came down to the bottom side and blew the flash in the first place. But Lindorf having a pretty good time of it in lane so far, winning out on the health trades quite confidently. And across the board, CS numbers, only really 2, 3, 4 in it at most. As Ride misses out on the bubble. Could have been a real nasty trade of the Ignite picked up somewhere.
Well, when you had clocks about as well, that could have been real nasty, but it's going to be okay as here comes the hook from Clocks. Does get the flay off, I guess, on Errol.
That's
and the powered auto from that.
Still a lot of damage. Lindorf doing a good job to maintain that lane. But no flash blown in the mid lane, crucially, by Errol. So he's still going to be relatively safe if another visit comes by from Snille or Clocks. Flash, very, very important to have against the likes of a Zoe. And more specifically, the Jarvan. If you remember from days gone by, playing against Jarvan in the mid lane with no flash, when you're in a mobile mage like Victor in the early game, oh, it sucks. It really feels bad. And especially in comp, if you have, you know, not too much priority, which in this case, Errol on the side lanes just hasn't really. It's been a little bit back and forth on the bottom side, but top side, no priority. If you get shoved under the tower just once, the North room's down, still it ends up underneath your tower, you just die. Nothing you can do about it.
Yeah. Well, I actually think for the most part, it's been pretty much in favor of Nativz, the shove. Obviously, with that roam from Clocks, they've been able to finally get a little bit of pressure down here in the bot side. But there's been a pretty heavy shoveling from the Varus. And with the lethal tempo, it's actually going to be the on-hit Varus. So I was expecting it to be poke Varus. But actually, they are kind of going a little bit more towards the team fighting. And Lundorf takes his first very nice trade. Vangstead takes the very first nice trade into Lundorf. I swear I can speak.
The issue is, though, Lundorf has the Sheen, so all it's going to take is a one hookshot trade to kind of equalize that.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Still, nothing too much to report in the top lane. These hooks are missing by
a hair.
Yeah. Has a little bit of miscoordination there, potentially. I feel like Cindy was pathing down. It's kind of hard to tell. I'm not sure whether he was on the grump or whether he wanted to make a play.
He actually just landed to the Gromp afterwards, so maybe they're gonna look for it now. Maybe he's like, I can hit 6, and then.
And it could even be a mentality thing because you fake the lantern once. If you do it again now, maybe you're just not expecting.
Oh, they know he's there. They got the flag. They got the drag. He gets the flash. He gets the knockout. The bubble comes in, and Raleigh comes forward. This is gonna be a kill. Picked up like that. First blood to Joppa.
Yeah, and real nice from Clocks as well. Just presence of mind. Throw out the hook to where Guffey could be, because now they have to cleanse out of the Jhin. Had to cleanse that one away, or the follow-up would have definitely been there. But great pickup on Toron Bengi. Just dipping into Fog. Not really too sure why. I guess thought processes. Yeah, we've got complete priority, but you just don't have the jungler on this side of the map right now. And just ends up being a negative for Flung's bottom lane. Nativz, great capitalization. They'll pick up the dragon as well. And Lundorf is finally starting to look like he's maybe struggling down here. Or up here, rather.
Yeah, that was a... Oh, he gets called on the Forge God. Dodges it on the second part, at least, I guess. But we'll have to teleport back to lane as Shafty's actually stopped the base here. He has got ultimate to dodge some of these abilities. Trying to get the hook shot, dodging absolutely everything. Gets himself a shield. Vanstead is in trouble. Shield comes forward. Lundorf, hook shot! Gets another stun! Shafty finds the kill and survives just about. But Lundorf, that was absolutely beautiful from him.
Lundorf almost made the biggest possible meal he could have made out of that dive for Flung. Shafty, one more tower shot and he was dead, had to flash away. And I was saying it just looked like a risky one to take. In general, no mana on Bankstead. All you really had to work with was one knockup. The Spectral Maw goes wide. You understand it though at the end of the day because the wave that was missed by Lundorf now, definitely sizable. Opens up the CS lead for Bankstead by about 10. It was a cannon wave. So definitely still, you know, it feels nice, I suppose, to make the Camille miss the wave so she drops a bit in XP. But at the end of the day, she still picks up the gold. Still picks up the kill on the trade.
Yeah. No, you know, does have to burn teleport. Bankstead's teleport was on cooldown already. So now they do have that teleport advantage coming up later. Obviously, we're not at the point where the teleports are unleashed yet, but does obviously help a little bit with some kind of level of being able to get onto the map in different places and maybe have some kind of tempo advantage. But with this reset, Lundorf was obviously able to teleport in and shove the wave, and this is going to result in a rift unless Shafty has something to say about that. Won't do so. Is only able to get away, but Rift held in pocket of this Jarvan will just about be spotted out thanks to that pink ward, and I'm curious to see where they decide to put this Rift held down.
Yeah, it's definitely a bit of a... Just puts the control down, replaces
That's
what
tragic.
And a great presence of Maya from Still ACs. Arrow walks up through that ward most likely. Shafty was also clearing vision in the top side jungle. They're probably coming to my Krogs. Backs away for a brief moment. Bankstead also kind of gives up the act by dipping into that pocket of fog. Well, they end up dying. But yeah, I mean,
Oh my word.
obvious answer is, hey, you have an on-hit Varus. You probably want to give it to the Varus, but honestly, even giving it to Camille wouldn't be too bad. At the end of the day, for split push. And I mean,
What is that champion, man?
Yeah, that's
balanced, by the way. Lundorf literally just ate 3 abilities and lost 2/3 of his health.
Yeah, I think Ornn is a pretty strong tank.
Yeah.
Tank, by the way.
Oh, it's so irritating, this champion, man. Oh, gets a nice stun off, actually, under the tower. So Lundorf does do an okay trade. Call of the Forge God comes out.
I love that he just threw up the dab. That's it. I love that he threw up. He did it. You're right, Jay.
Yeah, I'm a little flabbergasted by that one, but now I actually think this is just kill pressure. Able to charge away, caught him with the Hextech ultimatum. Lundorf actually has to kind of cool this off for the moment, waiting for that hook shot to come up, but the flash lands, gets the Q, trying to get a little bit more healing. Can he get the hook shot in time? Not gonna need it. Bankstead's out of mana though.
Lord. Another wave is kind of frozen. As by the way,
here's the curtain call. Then he can just block this and just eat these 4 shots. Oh, Clocks, don't risk it!
Clocks wanted to return to Joppa to ensure that he can beat the Lantern bot that Thresh can beat.
He might need it. No, don't worry.
He's alright. Yeah, love to know how that happened in the bot.
I'm sure we will see shortly.
Yes.
After these messages.
Yeah, bit of a wet noodle-ish fight. between Lundorf and Bangstead.
That wasn't a wet noodle. Those were concrete noodles.
Those were concrete noodles. They were throwing bricks at each other.
Why does that champion do so much damage?
I don't know.
Anyway, fine.
Oh,
dead.
Shafty starts this one. I guess just expecting a little more immediate follow-up. Really hard to say. As yeah, third shot almost connects.
Oh, what?
Killed. As
oh, we get it again.
Just because I suppose it's because I asked. It was Bengi gets the hook, and then they're trying to find a couple more members than maybe expect.
Like they could just press S there, and then there's no way Clocks dies.
Yeah. Also, Clocks very brave to step over. Because let's just say that that was aimed a little more to the right. What would have happened? Snillate gonna drop the Herald in the mid lane. Vangstead has magically taken 3 plates off the top tower.
What is this champ, man? He has no items, and he's just absolutely stomping it.
However, Lundorf does now have the Divine Sunderer.
Oh, hook comes out. They got the Lantern, though, so they should be able to flash out to safety. Doesn't want to risk it. I love the pink ward, actually. Make sure Lundorf now winning this trade.
Yeah,
versus Vangstead. Yeah,
Divine
there it is. Okay,
so
thank God for that.
Healing does now mean that Lundorf can win out in the extended trades. As Guff, both summoners available. Will they are. He will.
Oh, flash comes out from Guff as he over the wall to safety.
How sharp he's here.
Yeah, he's looking for something, but I don't know if he's going to be able to find it.
Just waiting for his teammates.
Oh, the curtain's up. Everything goes wide. Rositbenga needs to land this hook, and I think he's going to at least get one. Clock's caught out, flayed and pops, and Errol secures the kill.
Yeah.
Oh.
Takes one for his team, and yeah, Lundorf, he wins the matchup now. Divine Thunder is in. It's too much sustain. You have to pick up that Bramble Vest ASAP if you are Bangstead, because if you're a Divine Thunderer champion and you're, you know, proccing that on a tank with no anti-heal that has 2000 HP at this moment in the game,
yeah,
you're healing for about 150 plus, not including grass procs. So have the replay. What happened here?
Oh, it was already chunked as hell.
Just getting chunked already, and Lundorf just capitalizes. Just start the queue up. Yeah.
Also a balanced champion. I don't mind complaining about Ornn when a Camille's in the game. They're both as bad as each other.
I mean,
yes.
See, here's the thing with Camille. I think the only thing that actually makes Camille obnoxious is once she has hookshot maxed, how frequently she has it up. I actually don't have a problem with her Q. The reason why I don't is because most people find it obnoxious because of her play patterns. And I can't signal this on broadcast. I'm kind of showing it to Jake. The way that she outputs her damage is in short bursts. So, yes, obviously she gets a lot of AD and she auto attacks in between. But I think about it like this. Her damage is kind of like this, and then it goes back down. And
it's spiking. It's
so
going
it
to spike
constantly because she's just, you know, consistently sort of cho'gath queuing. But that's all she does for her damage. The only reason why it's obnoxious is because she's got so much mobility and survivability.
Yeah, so the Q's obnoxious because the E's obnoxious.
Yes.
Basically.
If the E was less obnoxious, the Q would
feel... Wait, Max just got first tower blood.
Yes. He's chilling.
He actually has such a good lane.
Yeah.
But it's now rough for him. He hasn't got the Bramble either.
No. Oh. Ah.
He made shoes.
He made shoes.
He's a cobbler.
He's a cobbler. Is that what they're called back in the day when they used to make shoes? Cobblers?
Something like that. I believe it is cobbler.
Cobbler? I'm sure someone will tell us.
I'll look it up.
Look it up.
Pretty sure it's a cobbler.
So, where does this tower being taken down leave us in the game in general? Fløng are still down 1,000 gold overall, but they will pick up this Herald. Doesn't really look like they're in a position to actually contest. And our producer beats you to it and tells us in our ears that is indeed a cobbler.
It also means to hit someone hard, apparently. Oh, that's clobber.
Clobber.
Thanks, spell corrects on Google. I said clobber earlier.
Did that? You did. Yeah, good.
Did
job.
I?
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
You did.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, you did. Herald picked up on the top side.
Look, I'm very hungry right now.
Yes.
And yes, we talked about Donners. Yes, I'm having a Donner. Meanwhile,
Lundorf is...
He's having his own meal right now. Errol on the menu. Might look for a little bit more. That hook shot, like I said, obnoxiously slow. The bubble's on, and that's one sleepy goat man, but he's not actually going to get caught out. Shafty is saved by the hook as Vangstead slides in. Snilly knocked up. Snilly goes down, and Lundorf clears the wall. Whoa, Guff is absolutely popped on the damage. Can't find a little bit more, unfortunately. The Deadly Flourish goes wide. Shafty goes... There we go. That's my play-by-play. By the way,
Joppa's taking this
PvE.
in the bottom lane, huh?
Wait, he has flash. Wait, Guff, don't do this. You don't have Gale Force, man. Joppa kills him if he stepped
did
up.
something silly, yeah.
If Guff went too far, flash are auto Q.
Yeah, I mean, just flashing in range, I think, would have done it. Cleanse and save.
Oh, yeah, cleanse. Okay, maybe.
Maybe that's what Guff is thinking. I have the cleanse. I am not going to die in this situation.
Joppa might have had to burn both sums for that. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah, and Vangstead is ignoring picking up a Bramble Vest. If he's going to be holding Lundorf, I will say this for free. Buy a damn Rest. Lundorf is going to start healing for obnoxious amounts of HP anytime he presses Q on you.
Joppa's actually very fed right now. He got 2 towers bot side.
He had a cull as well.
He's got a cull, yeah.
Actually, how much gold is he up on Guffey?
Oh my word.
Okay. I mean, the maths works out as speaking of maths. That
might be one dead Rupert. They're going to jump in, find him, and take him down. That is one dead robot. Shafty is kind of being shafted by his support, let's be real.
That is true. Anyway, back to the gold. It's Joppa. Yeah, 2.5.
No, don't worry. Lundorf's about to get more gold.
Yes.
Errol teleports in. Lundorf tries to get the shield off the deadly flourish. Dodges and forces him back in. Shut down into hook. Guff uses the cleanse. This time, he's a little easier to pick up. There's the Chains of Corruption. And that is one dead Jhin.
Summonerless now for the next... How long is cleanse cooldown? 4 minutes, we'll call it. And this should be a dragon that gets picked up. Oh, that's sub 3. That's an inspiration tree as well coming in.
Yeah.
And this should be the dragon picked up. They're going to steal away some of the jungle camps on the way out. Vangstead does have teleport, so actually if they want to try and make a last-ditch effort to contest this, they technically could, but Errol is also coming out of base. Should be Nativz to take all of a sudden the goal difference between the two teams. 5,000, might as well call it.
That's a big one.
It's a very big one. And most of that coming between the AD carries.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Barrel. He's got the Chilling Smite, gets the hook and jumps out. Wow.
Yeah, and Reed, I don't know if we can. Depends on how much stuff is going on. Replay of that top lane 1v1. Because the fact that Vangstead still doesn't have a Bramble Vest.
He's got the Hydra now as well.
Yeah, he has the Ravenous one. So he's going to be healing even more.
I like he's impossible to deal with for Vangstead. I think Bramble's nice, but I don't think it actually saves him in 1v1 at this point.
Here's the thing, like the Bramble kind of stems the bleeding for a little bit longer.
Yeah, but he's
at the very least cuts like the trading power of Camille significantly down. Because at that point, then Camille can't actually actively trade on you and always gain HP 24/7. Yeah. And it's why Vangstead's beelining to the Warmogs, because he wants to trade HP at all times. But effectively, what's going to end up happening if they end up in an isolated 1v1 on the side lane for a very long time is the HP bar is just going to go up, down, up, down, up, down, because the Warmogs is going to sustain, and then obviously Camille has the Divine Thunder and the Ravenous Hydra. Top lane, Fløng have dropped this Herald. We'll see how much they actually get from it. They're just going to let it charge in. It's not going to kill the tower.
Remember, these towers are worth the shutdown as well. So.
Yeah, objective bounties are there as... Let's see how exactly...
He's full HP.
So he's full HP, but I want to more accurately look at Lundorf. Anytime he procs Divine Thunder, how much does he actually heal?
198.
Yeah, like at 200 almost. Per proc.
Yeah, that is... And he's also got Grasp.
Yeah.
He gets a little bit additional healing from that.
Even in that fight alone, he healed like 800 HP. It's a lot of healing.
That is a lot of healing. And now he's got the Hydra, so it gets even worse. Oh, no. Vangstead. You just don't get to play whenever Lundorf's in your lane.
Now, at the end of the day, I keep on harping on it. It's not like the end of the world. It was more an issue maybe 5.5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
He's still doing the right thing in terms of items and going towards a Warmog.
But like it's now a bigger problem because he didn't stem that bleeding.
Yeah.
Like now, right now we should be going. Oh, it's starting to get out of control, but now it's just out of control.
Yes, exactly. That is how I feel about it. No more talk on Vangstead's itemization or not. I think we've had that conversation now. 20 minutes on the clock. 21. As Snille.
That's an interesting positioning.
Yeah.
Hook goes wide. They got the root. They got the lockdown. They got the hook. And that is once again A robot going down.
Oh.
Shafty, the bubble! That actually hit him, but the stun from the Victor might have just saved. No, Lundorf! Sliding in, takes one, takes two, and he's flattened to safety. Lundorf is the hook interrupts the Orn, and it's just gone from bad to worse. How the hell did they get away with that?
It's a complete heist.
That was criminal.
Send them to jail. I don't think they're going to be going to jail anytime soon. We're going to pick up the Baron. And that should be a freebie. That should be one of the first steps. Nativz to get to close out this game.
Speaking of dead rope, okay, don't worry.
High ground, low ground makes that bubble look a little bit shorter range than it potentially should have been. Which actually, speaking of high ground, low ground, did you see the very obnoxious Twitter clip the other day? Where the Viego was in that exact bush, flashed over the wall, and missed the stun.
No, I
and
didn't.
Had his mid laner die because high ground, low ground.
That is so sad.
It is very sad. Because typically you just imagine that League of Legends
is flat.
It's played on a flat map.
Yeah.
It's just not. What ended up happening? Because when we cut from the bottom side, it seemed as if Snille had been hooked.
That bubble was beautiful.
That bubble was very lovely.
This stun, though.
So this goes in, and it's the stun that follows up afterwards. So Bengi goes for the hook, gets chained up, it's locked down, easy as you like. But it's, again, it's really on the top side with another bubble from downtown.
It's 8-2.
And I mean, it's as simple as this. If that gravity field doesn't come down, more members would have dropped quicker, but Lundorf just dives in and clocks. Is the hero, and look at the, it's just, first the lantern, then the hook. It's so great from the native support.
How did they get away? How much health did Snille have?
Single digits.
Yeah.
Knowing Reed will tell us as long as nothing else happens.
At the worst use in the teens, but there's the Cataclysm, there's the dunk. Snille does lose his life as the curtain has been called, but Guff is instantly taken out. Lundorf is a man unleashed. Caught out for the moment, he's going to use the stopwatch to stay alive. Can jump out, they're going to jump in. He hooks shots off. Shafty, how did they not find the kill? But they do get Jopper. A lantern's down, they've got everything to keep him up. He's going to lose his life as Riley, trying to get a little bit more damage out, but can't just eke out that crucial bit. Oh my word! Fløng just somehow hold on. They clung to life as Riley, maybe? Ooh, bubble.
Yeah, noble damage to follow up. But Blitzcrank hook,
That's a fresh mate, but yep.
No, I'll say Blitzcrank hook starts the fight and enables Fløng to hold on. They grab Snille, and I mean, stopwatch was there and available. You can see actually Lundorf had a stopwatch. Jopper had a stopwatch, which he's now sold. And Snille still has his. Snille just wasn't able to pop it. Gets 100-0'd. So Nativz were ready to pick up a lot with that Baron, but now all it will be is this Mountain Dragon to set them up. Potentially later on down the line. As definitely going to be feeling a little bit bad about that one.
Yeah. Nope. Hook shot's fun.
Yeah.
Does get interrupted, but I think he's got enough sustain right now. They still don't have any anti-heal for him, so Lundorf is hard to kill.
Yeah, I mean, you get to the point where, you know, Divine Thunder proc on a 3.5k-ish target. Looking at like 400 plus healing per proc. It's pretty nasty. But it seems like we're going to have a bit of a skirmish breakout because people want Arrow on the side lane.
The bubble. No one's going to get caught. Forcing the teleport, actually. This is huge because Lundorf gets to the tower for free. And nobody is there to contest him, so he probably just gets the inhibitor. The Divine Sundra and Sheen procs are going to do a lot of damage, and Arrow wants to step up, but I guess we'll rotate Vanguard about. They're pretty comfortable.
Difference between Guffey and Lundorf.
Oh, nice. Knocked up CC and dunked. Jopper will secure that kill.
Well deserved.
Shafty. Just not his game, unfortunately. Nope. 1 and 4 on the Viego, and Lundorf just goes back to bot lane, back to business. Hooks are going to get traded out. They find themselves a cheeky knock-up as Jopper needs to be very careful, but Deadly Flourish connects, inhibitor goes down, and Lundorf has been a little bit careful here, although Guff does have that 4th shot, so it could do a fair amount of damage to him.
Let's see earlier on what happened here. Is it just drop up? Did he even flash? No, just Shafty walks up. Sentence doesn't quite land on that minion. Would have been quite helpful. And man, that does feel bad.
That was perfectly timed, actually.
Yeah.
That chains was just about to wear out.
Does feel bad, though. Shafty clipped just on the edge. But great aim from Joppa, nonetheless. They get the inhibitor on the bottom side, and now they can work off that pressure for the next 5 minutes, whether they wait for the Baron in 90 or wait for that Soul in around 2.5 minutes' time. Nativz, they are primed and ready to take this game at their leisure. And they are slow bleeding Fløng out at the moment.
It's definitely a bit of a slow chokehold, though. I say that we're 26 minutes in with a 10 kills and gold lead, so maybe it's not as slow as it feels. Maybe it's just slow because it's slowed down for like
a period at the moment where
we're just impatient.
We're impatient because we want action, as you would maybe guess. But I think Nativz are still making the right call. We've seen quite a few games recently where Nativz just drop the ball on the execution. They're not able to actually put the finishing touches on games, or they troll themselves in the mid game. And I've said it throughout the split. Given how well I've seen Nativz play League of Legends, their own biggest enemy is themselves. And right now, this is a certain level of discipline which maybe hasn't been shown in some of their most recent defeats.
Someone has to deal with bot lane. They're sending Vangstead to deal with it, but he doesn't have teleport, and Lundorf does.
Oh,
that bubble could have been pretty scary. Lundorf on the flank, just forcing them out, and Lundorf can just continue to do this, catch waves, and rotate over because Vangstead can't match at the moment. And even if Vangstead does decide to match, Lundorf could just 1v1 him. I mean, there you go.
Lundorf is not going.
Oh, he got the interrupt. He's got the ulti. Vangstead can ult himself, but that's a big team fighting tool down, and he pays with his life. The rest of the team are trying to contest the Baron, but the base is under fire. They're teleporting people in to try and deal with it. Lundorf can't kill the tower in time, but he chunks it out heavily. He managed to get the sleep on, but Lundorf didn't know it. The Baron's been secured, and they're going to try and kill the split pusher, but he's got too many hook shots. He's able to zip away to safety, and the rest of the team can start to assert pressure elsewhere on the map now. Oh, this is so rough for Fløng.
Yeah, and I mean, Nativz just leaning on Lundorf to carry this game. Doing such a good job of playing the 1-4. Caught out again on the hooks, delay. Able to click on the Landon despite the mass amount of wards placed down.
Ooh, bubble. Someone has to go deal with this bot wave.
Yeah, I mean, well, who can? The answer is no one.
Nativz hairdresser doing some serious work here for the team. Tower after tower will crumble, will get sieged. Lundorf doesn't even have to siege the base towers. He could just move over and assist the team with these towers. Got the demolish procs as well. Open inhibitors over the map. Hook goes down. And it is just getting harder and harder for Fløng to hang on to this game. Mid lane inhibitor will drop. Top lane inhibitor will fall shortly. As one last minion blocks the way, Nativz can start whacking away at this one. They've got the double cannons, and Shafty loses half of his health. This is it. This is the final push. Fløng going for the desperation play, but the lantern stops the call of the Forge God, and Fløng have nothing more that they can work with here. They're going to try and find the knock-up as Vangstead able to jump away. Knock off a couple of members, but Lundorf is doing oh so much work. He's buying members. He's dealing with two. He hook shots away, but he loses his life to the Heartbreaker. Shot down.
Has a very strong Camille.
He does have a strong Camille to work with, but the towers are going to go down. The hook goes wide. That's going to be Clocks having to go into the stopwatch, going in for the Heartbreaker. They find the kill. Joppa outputting the damage necessary. 30 minutes on the clock. 22 kills to 7, and Nativz take the win.
Nativz do take the win. And it feels like it's the first decisive one in a little while, and a very important time to pick up a win against the Fløng that were really, really starting to close the gap in the standings. And now that puts that 2-game buffer between them and Fløng. And again, you have to remember, second place, very, very important. Even if they can't, well, they can still technically catch up to Munster.
Yeah.
But you have to remember, playoffs, the way the brackets work, top 2 is the most important part of playoffs. Winning obviously feels very nice, the regular split. But making sure you're in that upper bracket to close down how much, best of 5 you really have to play. It gives you all that extra prep time to watch all the teams go through the lower bracket.
Exactly.
It's very important. So making sure they get that win here now means that Fløng, they have to win 3 games. Nativz have to basically lose all of them.
Yeah. That was a very clean game. An incredibly clean game by Nativz. Fløng, we said they're the easier team to execute, but this is kind of what you were hitting on, where Nativz, they're just so good at understanding League of Legends.
And I think, crucially, not only did they understand that game very well, hey, they only have one form of hard engage. That hard engage has to basically sit on the side lane against our very fed Camille.
Yeah.
Doesn't really matter. Just let the Camille split push. And I think you can also even lead some of that to the draft, where everybody on Nativz got to see their lane and pick into it.
Yeah.
Top to bottom.
Well, we're going to throw ourselves to a break, and then we're going to be back. We're going to be back with some interviews, some chats, and then we'll be getting ready to go into our 5th game. So we'll see you in a moment for our interview with the winners.